Hey guys, can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. And hey Eric, yeah, I guess everybody have already installed the PyCharm. If you're not, you just go Google. You type PyCharm, like just PyCharm, and now you look for the download, and you choose the community version. You click this, the download, so you download this one. And after you download, if you are in Windows, you will install the Windows version. If you are on Mac, you can do Mac version. It's up to you, but yeah, you can just download and install it. It's pretty straightforward. So I'm using Mac, so that's why I have the PyCharm like this one. But make sure you are installing the community version, because that one is for free. The professional one is not. You have to pay for that. So I use PyCharm because PyCharm is like Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code. The Python language. Question. Or we should go for the JavaScript, but work on the question 5. Doing that, I'm not sure. So All right, guys, let's see if you can hear me. So sorry about that. My iTunes keep playing the song, and I am not sure why. So yeah, I'm not sure how it just keep doing that. So I might just stop it, and it keep bothering me. So I think now you can see, you should be able to hear me right now. And if you are ready, you can hear me, and you are ready to start, please let me know and put it in the chat box. All right, so today, since I just tell you guys, because I want to finish the 2.8, the J1 to J4, and I will leave J5 for you guys to work on that. So let's just do J4 today. And like some of you guys might not have PyCharm, so I suggest you to just go to download the PyCharm. Just Google PyCharm. It's not that hard, believe me. Just Google PyCharm and you click download. And you download the PyCharm and install it. So after you install, you should have an icon either in Windows or Mac, something like this. And you turn on the PyCharm. And for the first time, you may have to create a new project. You just click create new project. And if you're on Windows, I would suggest you just go to the desktop and create a folder called projects. And then you can use that to create it. Since I already create a project in my desktop, it's called projects. So that's why I can open it, and you can do the same thing. So it's not that hard. Okay. And after you create a project, you can create some folder, right? You come over here in your project and make sure you just right click and new, and you can create a directory, or we can call a folder. So I already create a folder called CCC, and now another folder called 2018. So that's why I'm going to do just create a new Python file. Here is a Python file. I click on the Python file, and I may just 2018 J4 doc. You don't have to keep an extension to it, just J4, and now you can start the file. So for the first time you just do print, like anyone use hello world. and you would click on the run. Since for the first time to run this file, you should choose the run here. Or if you are good on the shortcut, you can do Ctrl+Shift+R, but I'm not, and then I just choose the run, and it gives you a menu. Now you can choose to find the file you just create. I create 2018 J4. So you choose that one and you click run, and that's why you get the result on the bottom, on the run menu, okay? And also, if you're good on the terminal, you can use terminal here, right? You can do terminal, like install something, like npm install something, or use pip for Python. Usually they use py to install things, and we haven't covered that yet, but yeah, I want you to get used to these two. And since because we are in the middle level, right? And now, and we back to the question. So like every time I just go CCC space questions. Eric, you don't have to deal with the py, because right now we are just using the PyCharm. After you install it and you just use it, we are not going to do py right now, okay? So I just type CCC questions. So I hit CCC question. The first one should be from Waterloo, like from University of Waterloo, and you click on the first link. And now you go to the left side menu, and there's past context. You click on it, and it should be some mathematics and computing questions. So at the beginning, there should be for math, but we work on the CCC question. That's why we go all the way to the last box, and that's why from here you can find all the year questions and solution. Probably have solutions, but not some of them doesn't. And then you go 2018, right? Because we are working on the 2018. If you missed 2019, you can go back to our video, and you can find our lessons there. And after 2018, we probably go to 2020 and take a look at the 2020 questions. And now we click on the 2018. For CCC, they have junior level and senior level. So senior is a little bit, a lot harder than the junior level. But right now we are working on the junior. So every time I click on the junior, and it should be a PDF file here. So here is problem J1, and we already finished this. So I scroll all the way down to J4. It's called sunflowers. So I want you to find this question like what I have here. And if you find it, and you can start to read the question. And every time when I read the question, I will take a note. And you can use a paper and a pen and take some note. And I always take notes on the number, like n different sunflowers, 90 degrees, something like that. It's just a personal preference. Like I don't want to go back to look at the question again. So that's why I just take some note, and it helped me to memorize the question, and easy for me to understand this. And I do this trick on the any question or solution, and reading or something. I always do take note. And but some of you I know is good at English, and you probably don't have to do that. But since I am not, so I will take note. So I will take note, And let me see, last time what we got here. Cancel. So last time we worked on this problem. Hopefully you guys already finished it. I saw one of you guys just sent me the answer. I'm very glad at that email, and I'm say thank you to you because you finished your homework and I know how far you go. And like here, and I'm gonna read the question. Like you guys can read it by yourself. You don't have to follow me, but try to understand, and I give you like 5 minutes. But at the meantime, I will read all of them. And but like what I said, I want you guys to read it by yourself, because when you have the computing contest, you are going to do it by yourself. Okay, but I'm going to read it. I just take some notes on the number, so you can start to read it. Okay, so here is saying there's one person called Barbara is planting n different sunflowers. So n sunflowers, so just flowers. Okay, and now he keep a record on the height and order from smallest to the largest. So let's say it just start from small to the largest, and he record the heights for n days. So another n days, and each day all her flowers grow taller than the day before. So every day is just taller. Okay, she records each of these measurements in a table. So it is a table, and with one row for each plant. So let's say you have the first row. The first row is for flower 1. Let's just say flower 1. So the first row, and of course then you have flower 2 and flower 3. Since we are on Python, I would like to just have 0, 1, 2, because we always start from 0. So I would have flower 3, something like that, and it will be continue if you have more flowers. But here I just have 4 flowers here. So it said 1 row for each plant, and with the first row records the shortest sunflowers grow. So which means, for example, you record is 1, and this one might be a little bit bigger than 1 is say 3 or 5, and how about this one is 6, something like this. And it's saying the shortest sunflowers growth, and the last row recording the tallest flowers grow. The leftmost column is the first measurement for each sunflowers. So the leftmost, so obviously because that is for the first day, so it's the leftmost for the first one, and the rightmost column is the rightmost one is for each flowers the last measurement. So let's just say I should have n days. So here I have four flowers. That's why I should have like 4 days. Like I may separate them by the commas. And now, if a sunflower was smaller than another, when initially planted, it remains smaller for every measurement. What does it mean? It means hey Eric, if you haven't let's just, I will help you after this lesson, and then we will we will use Zoom to figure out what's the problem with the firewall, okay? But right now, let's just focus on the question. So it means the firewall is smaller than another one. When it's initially planned, it remains smaller for every measurement. What it means is, like, for example, if it's grow 2, then 3 and 4. So because we have 4 files, it should be have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one probably is growing like you can go 5, but this one will have just you have to be greater than 5, because you said if this one grow, it will grow they will have the same. Every time they will greater than the flower 2 will greater than flower 1 will greater than flower 0. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about, but you just like make sure they are just increasing, okay? Like here should be 7 or 8. Let's just say 8. Okay. Now here it would be let's see, because 5, and I would say here, like, just say 7. I just make it up and help you guys to understand. And this one is 8, okay? And here is let's say just 9, and here is 10. Doesn't really matter. It's just a table, and I make it up for you to understand. And you can obviously you can do it by yourself, and you can make it up by yourself for anyone, any flower, any table you want, any number. But as long as you follow the rule like this, it's just saying it just keep growing, and it should be the first one should be the less one, and the fourth one should be the biggest one, okay? And once they keep growing, they always maintain the same sequence, okay? Like here, it should be, because you already go 9, and I have to be more than 9, right? So I have maybe 11 or 13. Yeah, right? So yeah, hopefully you get what I'm talking about. You just like keep growing. It's nothing really difficult. It's just like when you understand the question. And then it's saying, unfortunately, her children may be alter her measurement by rotating her table by a multiple 90 degrees. Okay? And your job is help her to determine the original data. Like, for example, if you draw something like this and you rotate, if you say how what does it look like, and you can pull out let's see, I can do it or not, probably not, but you can imagine like this one is just a ball, this yellow thing is just a ball, and then you can like turning around like clockwise or anti-clockwise, you're turning around. So if you're turning around, it will be kind of a little bit messed up, and that's why they want to say, hey, what is the correct order of this table, like this order. And let's see what's the input, because the question always have the input, and the input is the like something like looks like this, like my table. So you say the first line input contains the number n. N is greater than 2 and less than 100, and most of the time you don't have to care about this, unless you hit the performance issue. You have to think about this one, but most of the time you don't. And the next n lines each contain n positive integers. obviously is integers, doesn't have decimal, okay? Each of which is at most 10 power 9. Yeah, really doesn't matter because it's just saying this integer may be really big. And it said it guaranteed that the input grid represents a rotated version of her grid. Okay, so the output is the original one, like this one. And let's see some sample, okay? Some sample. You're saying like if the input is like this, so which means our n flowers is 2, because it said the first line is n, the number of n, and also have the n days is 2 days. So you can see that the first one is 2, and that's why we have the 2 by 2 square, 2 by 2 square, right? So whatever they just keep rotating in, and you will see what's the correct order of this one. So here it just give you the answer called 1329. It looks exactly like the input. If I change it a little bit, and for example, if I change this input, and I want to see if you guys understand or not. Okay, so let's say I have also have 2, n is 2. Now, since n is 2, I have the first one, it should be, let's say, just 6. The second one is how about just 2? And this one should be 8. This one should be 3. Okay, so if I only have this 4 number, this table as a square, if you know the answer of the first row, please put it in the chat box. The first row, like the first flower, first one. Okay, and if you know the answer, please put it in the chat box based on what we read this question. You don't have to use the computer to do it, and because the computer science doesn't really need that much of computing, but you got to understand the questions and how to solve the problem with the computer. That's the way we do it. So yeah, if you know the question, please let me know and put it in the chat box. The first row of this one. Yep, I think some of you guys already figured out the original table, and like this one, so it would be just like it just keep rotating from the, let's say just rotating from the clockwise, and it should be like this. The original one should be 2, 3, right? Is it right? 2, 3, and 6, 8. If I move here, the 6 will come here, and the 3 will come down here, and the 8 will come down here, right? Yeah, good job, Dan. Yeah. So if I change it, like, what does n represent? So n it just represent n flowers and n days. So what it means, just n is like, for the table, n is n row, like 1, 2, 3, 4 row, and you also have days, the column, just 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So basically, n is just telling you how many numbers and how many rows in this table. Okay. Yep. And let me just change a little bit, maybe not this one, and let's say, and I just saying like, how about we have 5, 7, 3, and 6. How about this? So could you guys tell me the original tables, the first row of the original tables? The first row of the original table. Yep, if you know the answer, please let me know. So I just need the first row, okay? First one, the first one, first row of the. You don't have to tell me this. The second row. All right. So yeah, I think you guys already figured out. It's just like 3, 5, 6, 7, right? So now you have a little bit sense on the input. If n equal to 3, which means bigger, and we go to the sample 2. Let's see in sample 2. So in sample 2, let me just block the output, which means the correct one, right? You're going to tell me what is the first row of the sample 2. If you know the answer, please let me know and just put it in the chat box, right, for the input 2. Yeah, I know it's getting harder, but yeah, it's if the n is keeping like 3, 4, 5, 10, and it's keep doing very hard, but I want you to do it by yourself. You just you don't have to go to look it up. Just look into my screen and give me the answer. And Son, give me 1, 2, 3. And how about you? And Georgie, also give me 1, 2, 3. And Eric, give me 1, 2, 3. Yep. Awesome. Yep, Michael also give me 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think you guys already figured out, because obviously if you look around on each corner, you probably find the number 1, because number 1 is the last number in this table, right? Is last number in this table. Good job, Jordan. And then, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Good job. So everyone will, let's sum it up. Like, yeah, let's see. You have yeah, good job. And you will figure out the pattern like this. You will find, obviously, the first, let's see, like here, my table. The first one, because the first one will keep growing, and that's why this flower in the first row, this number will be the smallest one. Always the smallest one, okay? And because it is at the beginning, the first day, in the first day, in this column, it also the smallest one, okay? Also the smallest one. And since this one is keep growing, and this one is keep growing, and this one keep growing, which means this one is the smallest one in this table. And also this corner, this one should be the largest number in this table, right? And if you found this, and it's very easy to find your answer. So let's just do the second sample, and you are going to tell me the first row for this table, and let me know if you know the answer in the yep. So for the input for this one, let's say is for the first row, and for this input. So obviously you will get the same answer, right? Because you found that is 1 here, and the 9 is the biggest one. So it's very easy to find it, but there could be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3, 4. And why do we choose 1, 2, 3 instead of 1, 3, 4? Okay, so I guess most of you guys already figured out. And let's just go right. So that's the original one. Obviously, it's 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4, 5, 7, and 4, 6, 9. So I'm going to make one for the n is equal to 4. Increase a little bit challenge for you guys. And after that, we are going to do the programming. So if n is 4, so let's say we have the 35, let's say is 36, sorry, it's like 20, 32, and 24, and 19, something like this. So the second row would be, second one would be let's say is 31, also 32, and 29, and 21, 17, and for this one would be 31, and this one would be 25, and this one would be 19, and this one would be 12, something like this, and this one would be 26, and this one would be 23, and 17, and 10. So yeah, I make it a little bit harder for you guys, and you are going to tell me which one is the which one should be the first row. Would it be possible, or maybe I have made some mistake? So you won't be find anything. I have to change something. Let's see. I may change a little bit here. Then this one, okay. So let's see. If I have this table, and if you can tell me the first row. If you can tell me the first row of this table. So you said 10, 12, 17, 19. You see? So I changed a little bit here. So if you know the answer, because I know you guys will see this one should be the star one, right? But the first row is this one or this one. You know what I'm talking about, because you got to think it should be the one I am highlighting here, right? Or it should be this one, because this table can only rotate this like this. Hopefully you can figure out what I'm talking about, because if you already found the first one, like this one is 10, and then you are going to, no matter how you rotate, it should be your clockwise, and you will find this one. For example, if you have the square, like in this four corner, and obviously if this one is the smallest one, in the clockwise, this one will be the first row. If this one is the smallest one, and this one will be the first row, because clockwise. And from here, this corner on the right bottom corner, and because it's clockwise, and this one will be go all the way here, will be the first row. If the 19 in this corner is the smallest number, and from here to the up is the first row. Okay, so pretty much we already know how to solve this problem, right? Am I correct? So, and let's sum it up, and what we found for how to solve this problem. So the first one would be, we find the smallest number in the corner, like in this corner, and this corner, or this corner. Okay, and the first step is you will find the first corner, like this one, 10, right? Is the comparing to 35 and 19, you can find the smallest number is 10. And the second one is like, because if you can imagine, no matter her son, how to rotate this table, it either from this way, clockwise or anti-clockwise, and the first row will be always like here, like this, like clockwise. Okay, so first row will be clockwise. Okay, so if you already know identify the first row will be clockwise, and it would be easy for the second row, right? Obviously, you know, like this one, it would be the second row from here to here, and the first row will from here to here, and for this one would be from here to here. Okay, so it would be a little bit hard, but before we are going to solve this problem, you know how to find the smallest number in the corner. Okay, in the corner. So could you, and if you don't have the question, please go to this link, and next time please go to this link and go to J4, find the J4 called sunflower. Okay, you find the question there and read the question. So we found these 3 rules, or maybe 2 rules. Okay, these 2 rules, and based on these 2 rules, we will be able to solve this problem, because you already find the pattern. Okay, so that's why I have the pie chart here. And now we are going to the first thing is like, you have to find the smallest number in the corner, but today we don't have that much time, so let's just see how to roll the input into our program. And we already learned there's a list. There's something called list, right? list in Python, and like for example, I have for this example, I have a list called let's say I have the first row. That's first row. You don't have to type, and I just demo to you. And I have a list, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put it first row. Then you have second row. Then you have 3, 5, 7, 8. Okay. And then you can think about, oh, I have third row and fourth row, right? But the problem is you don't know how many rows we have. It's not just 4. You should have n rows, and n columns, right? That's the challenge way. So today we said, how are we going to have this kind of thing? Like because in the array, this list is 1 dimension, but for a table is 2 dimensions, right? It's 2 dimensions. How to put the 2 dimensions into something in Python? So that's the one we want to learn today. So it's saying how to put 2 dimensions, let's just 2 dimensions array. If you learn math, there should be something called array, and put 2 dimensions array into Python. Okay. So in Python, in the list, and usually what we have learned, we just put 1 value here. And every value actually is 1 item in the Python. So, but for 1 item, this item can be a list as well. So what does it mean? It means, like, for example, I have, let's say we have the first row, and then I have, let me finish this one, give me some time, 6, 9, 10, and fourth row I have 6, 8, 11, 13, something like this. Okay. But you can make up something like this, like what we say is just 2D. Let's say just 2D table. Let's just say table 2D. Okay, table 2D. And in this variable, we are going to hold something like this. I'm going to show you. You're going to hold first row, second row, third row, and fourth row. All right. So I'm going to explain to you like this one. The first row is the first item in the table 2D list. This list. Okay. You see, the first one is this one. Okay. And the second one should be the second row and this list. And the third one should be this. And the fourth one should be this. And after that, I'm going to just print the table 2D and see what happened. 2D, and let's see what happened. I have no idea. So you will see, let me pull it up a little bit. You will see something like this. Okay, and if you have any question, you feel hard to understand this step, please let me know and put it in the chat box. Okay, so make sure you understand what I'm talking about here. We just put first row, second row, and third row, fourth row into the table 2D. All right, so yeah, if you understand this step, we don't need the first row, second row, third row, and fourth row variable, and I can put directly here, like here and here and here and also here. Okay, now I remove this one. I will get exactly the same table. This table 2D will be the same like here. Okay, so if I want to get the I want to get right now is a square, right? If I want to get the first corner, the left and top corner, this one, how am I going to access that value, like the 1? How am I going to get 1? Right? So you got to say, I'm going to get the first one, the first row, because 0 is the first row, right? So I'm going to print it out and let you see. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the first row. And now I want to get this corner, the 1. So how am I going to get 1? Because here is table 2D, 0 is return the first row. The first row is leaks. And how am I going to get 1? So you are going to get 1 like from here. Also 0, right? Because that is the first item in here. And the second one is, how am I going to get the 4? This corner. So you are going to use the same trick. Just the first row, and it should be the n here, right? The n subtract 1. And in this case, it should be 3. Okay? Now, I'm going to get print table 2D, get this one, this corner, the left bottom corner, which is 3. So it should be, this one should be the last row. So how to get last row is n subtract 1, right? But in this case, n equal to 4. So 4 subtract 1 is equal to 3. And also for this one, because it's the first value, we start from the index 0. So it's just 0 here. All right, I'm going to run it and see if I can get, it's supposed to have 1, 4, 6. Okay, 1, 4, 6. Okay, I want to have the last corner, this value. You know what I'm talking about? Is I want to have the right bottom corner, this value. So which statement I can do to print it out to get 13? If you know the answer, please put it in the chat box so I know you are fully understand what we did here. Okay? So let me know the answer, your statement, how to do something called print table 2D blah blah, so you can get the 13, this value. Okay, so yeah, just type it in your chat box and let me know your answer, and then we can move forward, and then we are going to finish the input. Yep, you should yeah, you should tell me how. Yeah, Michael is good. That's good. Very nice. Yep, I guess Michael give me an answer. It's just like print table 2D. Most of you guys already figured out. It just the number is like n subtract 1 because that is the last row. So it should be, in our case, is 3. And here it should be the last item of the last row. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3. So also 3. Okay, now I'm going to print it, and it's 13. All right. So I think most of you guys already figured out what we are talking about here. But since in CCC, and they are not going to give you this guy, right? They're going to just give you the input, like what we have here in this input. They will give you this input. And how are we going to make this input into this structure? So that could be a little bit challenging, right? So let's just read the n first, the first row. So the first one is easy. It's just like n equal to input and parentheses, and I won't make the mistake to convert the input from the string to integer. So I'm going to use int to convert the input from the string to the integer, which is n here, the number 3. In our case, n is equal to 4. Okay, and for the second row, the second one, you are going to get this first row, like the first row. Okay, first row should be equal to the input, right? But like we learned before, we have to split this first row. Okay, let's just say this is a line, first line. Okay, we need to split this line like 1, 2, 3, 4 by space, because they separate by the space. So how are we going to do that? So we just use the line dot split by a space, and after you split it, it should be show you the an array. So let's just see what is the let's just give a variable called row. Just get the print the row, and we will see what's the value of the row. Okay, so I'm gonna run it, and I copied my input and the input here. So just paste. So if we print it out, it's 379. That is our row. Okay, that is our row. It's a list. If we output 379, which is 379 on this one. All right. And now we need to read n row. N row. So how are we going to do that? And we are going to do that by the for loop, right? We learned just last week for loop, and we just use a range and number n, and you will root n time. And now you just put this one here. I will just tell you guys a little bit trick. And you highlight this block and you hit the tab key, and if you move all the way to 4 in my case is 4 space, but you can change 4 space to 2 space, like in here, in the pie chart, in here, you can change 4 space to 2 space. Okay, you can configure the indent for Python for 2 space if you don't like 4 space, but I'm okay with 4 space, so I just hit the tab key. If you go 4 space here, all right, and then if you just keep running and converting to the rows, let's see, I do it one more time and see if we can create a lot of things here or not. So I'm going to run, and I am going to paste. So you should get, let's see how many we get. We only get 379, 256, and 134. So we get 3 rows. Okay. And I will, since our time is up, and I will leave you guys to convert this number string into a number. And if you know how to do that, please let me know. Okay, but and after that you can continue to solve the problem by our 2 loops, these 2 loops. And first we will find the smallest number in the corner, in which corner, and then you find the cross Y row. Okay, and then you probably can solve the problem, but if don't, and we will come back for this in next week. Okay, I know it's a little bit challenge, and let's just rehearse what I said here. Today we learned how to write that 2D table, 2D dimension into Python. Okay, we learn how to write this one into a Python table 2D, and then we learn how to get to the each corner. Basically you know how to access any of the value in this table. You're just using this kind of index, and the first index means the row 1, 2, 3, 4, this 4 row, and the second one means the column in here. But basically, if you can think about that, just a list, and that also just a list. Okay, all right, and yeah, because like Eric, it doesn't stop because the reason is because think about that, the last one is input, right? It have to wait for the enter to have the output. So it doesn't really matter, but because once you copy it here, like copy, there's no enter here. So you can copy this one, you put it into here, you type one more enter, so you have a new line here. So you copy it like with this line in your if in your, let's say, you can copy it from here to here like this. You copy it like this way and you paste it, it will have the enter, and you will see it won't stop. Okay, but what we learned here, because we learn how to load 2D array into a table, and then we can access the corner, and so that we can judge which corner would be the smallest number, and then it will finish our first loop. And then we will go for the second row, and then we know how to restore a table, this kind of table, into the original one, right? I know it's a little bit hard for you for the first time, because you have to deal with the 2D table, but what I want you to do today for the homework is just convert this string into an integer instead of a string, because I hate the string. The string cannot compare correctly, because number 3 probably not less than number 7 in string. So what I want you to do is just convert the number 3 into number 7, and then you can get a table 2D with the integer number inside the table 2D. And then you can obviously remove this part, and you still can print out the table 2D for each corner. And obviously it's not, the 3 will replace by n subtract 1, right? Yeah, n subtract 1, because the index is start from 0, then that's why we just do n subtract 1. And you will put every row, convert the row to the number and put it in the table 2D list. So obviously you have to define a table 2D here, equal to a list. And now you can remove this part, and I love you guys to convert row from string to integer. Okay, so that's the homework for you, and convert it. And then after you convert, you will append, because you will use table 2D dot append, and you will append that the converted row into table 2D. And after that, you should get all the 4 corners. And with the 4 corners, obviously you can compare all of them and figure out which one is the smallest one. And now we can finish the first part of the question, and then we jump to the second part and how to restore it in next week. Okay, so thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. If you still have a question, please let me know, and you can put it in the chat box. Okay, and have a good night.